Good morning and welcome this morning to our Facebook Live. On Facebook here live, it is Monday morning, the 4th of October 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley in the UK. If you're joining me live for the first time, then good morning, hi and welcome. Lovely to have you join us. You can also catch us on our Facebook replays. You can look for the word live at the top of Facebook, or you can look for videos. Click on those and you'll have a list of all those ready. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Lynn and Jeanette. You can also catch me on YouTube, and basically I uplift the Facebook Lives to YouTube just after the Facebook Live has finished. So if you prefer the YouTube scenario, then you can watch from there. Just look for Jenny McCormack or Jemini Crafts with a J. So good morning. It's a nice sunny morning, so that bodes well for the rest of the week. So last week I featured birds and branches, and I am just going to carry on because I've got a few more ideas that I want to try out, and so it seems a perfect opportunity to do those on my Facebook Live. Let me quickly show you the cards that we made last week. This stamp set also features in Coffee and Card. We featured that on Friday. The girls did some great cards on Friday, and again this afternoon in Toaster. So as you can see, it features these two birds. You have the outline, which to be honest in its own right works exactly as is, and then you have the detail for colouring in, and then you have the wings as well, so you can really step this up and you'll see the difference when I show you the cards. We have a bird's nest and eggs, we have assorted legs and feet, and then we have two branches and some foliage here, a little heart and some flowers. Okay, let me briefly show you what we made last week while anybody else hops on board, and then we'll get cracking. Hi Monica and Scylla, lovely to see you. So these cards are obviously perfect for anybody who loves birds. They make great cards for men as well. So I'm just going to flip through these fairly quickly. So we have this one here with the bird on the nest, and I've made that into a thank you card. I've got this one here just with the two branches but a single bird, and I added a little bit of speckling with one of our marker pens. I'm not actually sure that you can, maybe you can see that little bit of detail there. And then another one here. So you can choose to have the bird on a branch, on nest, or the nest and the branch, whichever you prefer. This is the envelope I did that matches those. And then I did this one using the die, matching dies from the set. So as a wedding card, it could be an anniversary card, engagement card, with the two birds, and there's a little nest stuck in behind. And that one says, wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. So I think perfect for a wedding card. And I've got the two birds there inside at the bottom. I've then got this one, which I did a little bit more detailed work on the scenery behind. Hi Louise. And again, these dies are from the coordinating set of dies that work with this. So you have a border die, so I've cut this on both sides, and then this lovely circular die here, which is this one. I'll just put that down there. really lovely. Now last week I had this die this way round, but of course it might well be designed to go that way round, so that you're looking through and it's like in the tree itself. Who knows? Anyway, so you could turn it whichever way you wanted. You could also have it this way, of course, with something on the ground and it looking like the trees are coming down over the top. So I've got this one here, and I actually cut the bird out from there, added that in, and then I've got the bird detail on the inside. And then finally I have this one here. This is in smoky slate. I've got the little bird with the area behind, happy birthday on the front, and this is a pop-up shadow box card, if you can see that. There we go. So it's got hello message on the inside and a bird again with that really pretty outline. So there's a few more things I'd like to do with this set, which is why I'm just carrying it over for another day or two. And something I thought about, which is quite an obvious one really, if you've got this picture, this dies. So this set of 2 dies has circles which are stitched, and it also has rectangles, but it makes the perfect example for a tree with holes in where the birds would be nesting. So what I've done is I've got a Sahara sand base and a piece of espresso. I might change that out, I'm not quite decided, or add a layer behind. And then I've used the picture this dies on this piece of Sahara sand, which is smaller, and then I've run that through, I don't know if you can see that, the one of our wood grain embossing folders. Now we do have another new one out. This is an older one called wood grain, but any of the wood effect ones, or even just a texture, a bark, anything like that would work, just to make it look like it's a tree. So what I have in mind is to layer that up, and I might put a piece of Sahara sand behind this main bit, and then have some birds popping out here of the little areas there. That's my thought. Now when you cut this out, you do get these pieces, so if you wanted to, you could put these pieces back in. I've taken these out and run it through the folder, so I'm not going to put them back in because that looked rather strange. So what I'm thinking is actually to cut this piece the same, because although I like the background, I just want to make it look like there's something behind as opposed to just that. I don't know, I'm going to try it and see. So let me cut this piece down, and all I'm going to do is use a blending brush, because I want to make this look like birds are coming and going from this area. Now I have done cards like this before. It's one of my favourite ways of doing them, to be honest. With this picture, this dies, it's perfect for anything where the head would pop out. Morning, Catherine. Thank you for your kind comments, Monica. So I'm just going to cut this slightly smaller than this piece here, so that it's not protruding. So this was 13.85, so I'm going to do it 13.5. I bet you're getting excited for the wedding, Louise, I should think. Isn't it? It's this Saturday, I believe. Or this weekend, I should say. This week, maybe. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just lightly put these together and then do my brushing with my brown can't think what that's called, blending brush, that's the word, and I want these to stay sort of in place. So I think what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue at the back. Now I'm going to put it on one side. I'm actually going to put it on the bottom here, and then I can lift this piece away if I need to. So just a little bit there to hold it. I will bring in a piece of grid paper because it's rather well camouflaged on there, isn't it? Sorry about that. Bring in some grid paper. So I hope everybody had a lovely weekend. There's a little bit of scrap here. Okay, so I've got my brown coloured blending brush, and I'm going to start with soft suede. So I'm just going to pick up some of that ink on here. And I want basically to make it look like the birds have been coming and going from their nests. Now what I might do is actually stamp a bit of the nest behind. Let's see. So this is slightly experimental. And I'm going to take this section here slightly darker behind. There we go. There we go. That. So I'm really focusing on these three larger ones because the dies for the bird then can just sit in. These are a little bit small for that purpose. Like so. And actually what I'm going to do is grab a pencil and I'm just going to mark those I might just put some card behind those, not quite sure. Okay. And the reason why I marked those, let's see if this will come up just about. Is I wasn't sure how clear this was going to be. So if I stamp some nests here, I don't want them to pop up in there. So let's grab, I could also use the branches, but I just want a little bit of detail behind there. So here is my nest stamp. Grab a larger block. Thank you. That's very exciting. I'm hoping that was the UPS man, and I'm hoping that is the box I've been waiting for. So I've been waiting on a box which has been caught in customs for my class in a box. There we go. Let's get this the right way around. yeah, so that works. Just pops up the little nest in there. So let's do this one with a darker colour. So I'm just going to take this one to earn espresso. Oops. There we go. And I just want to cover this up. That will do. There we go. So just building my scene basically. Like that. Just going to put this back each time to see how it's looking. Yep. I could actually. I missed a little bit of that. So the thing is, if you miss a little bit, that's because I put my piece of card a little bit too high. Don't re-ink it. You can see, I think you can see there, the bit of ink that hasn't been transferred. So don't re-ink it. You'll find it a lot easier then to look through your stamp and fill that bit in. There we go. Ooh, there we go. A little bit in here, but I'm not actually worried about that. And then a little bit on this one. Would even be better if I hadn't used card. Let me grab a scrap of post-it note. Or I could have used some scrap grid paper, that would have worked as well. You just don't want anything too thick. There we go. Well. Okay, so it looks a bit weird, that's for sure, but hopefully when this goes back on, it'll look better. I'm just going to get that piece out of there. Before it transfers. Okay. Right, so now I'm going to go back in with my blending brush and I'm going to take it a little bit darker. I'm going to leave that out and I'm going to make these darker. And this one here. And then I'll stamp and put the birds on the top. There we go. So as I say, it does look a bit of a mess. I'm hoping it won't look quite such a mess when I put it all together. I need to put my glasses on to see if there's any comments. Oh, there we go. Oh, hi Carol from the Peak District. Thank you for joining us on your holiday. That's very impressive. I hope you're having a good time. I know it's only the beginning of your week, so I do hope you have a good time. And what weather do you have up there? Because it's lovely and sunny here, but a little bit on the cold side in the mornings. Right, let's have a look at that. Yes. I've got there. That's looking better. I'm just going to take it away from there. So I want to build this one up much darker. Those I'm fairly happy with. Because really where the holes are, it should, you know, should be really dark. And normally I would probably have it, if I wasn't doing the detail, I would just put it on there like so. But because I want this to have a bit more detail, there we go. So if you're watching this for the first time, don't be put off. Go back and watch the early videos from this series. And on my playlist on YouTube, I do add a playlist tag. So to make it easier, for example, you could look for animal videos, for animal based cards, for men's cards, for different techniques. So this is tagged with animal magic because it's anything sort of animal related. Right, let's have a look at that. Then we can do our birds. Yeah, that's definitely getting there, isn't it? I could still put this on this backing like so. So I'm just building up a nesting box scene, for want of a better description. Now this one is definitely leaning my nest here, so I think what I'm going to do is stamp another bit of the nest just here, just to even that out, because that's where the dip of the nest is, and it does rather look like it's leaning away. So I did this one in early espresso. So all I'm going to do is just cover that bit up there and build that up. That's the great thing about stamps, is you can use part of the stamps. There we go, that feels better to me. There we go. Okay. All right, just going to add a little bit more here. Just for them coming in and out. As they're busy birds. Okay, now I'm going to stamp the birds. And up till now I've stamped them on white card. That's going to go onto there. And I'm going to, I may lift this up on dimensionals, I'm not sure. Okay. But I'm thinking I might stamp them on some spare pieces of card. So this is crumb cake My crumb cake is somewhat depleted. Let's see if I can find some in my old scraps. Monica thinks we're all going to be pleasantly surprised. Well, should we say there's always a first time? That's a bit of crumb cake. That's a bit of crumb cake. Okay, so let's give this a go. I just thought it would be nice. So let's grab the birds, and I'm going to try different ones at different angles. And I may not bother, because I've got a background, I may not bother actually using the layers to colour them in. The layers to colour them in are exceptional, I have to say. And one of the ideas I've got, which will be tomorrow, is to make these into robins. So using some red ink and make a Christmas card. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp a set of these. They're just so sweet. If you can see the detail on that. Even the eyes got the circle around it, and then the little dot for the light. Carol won't like it because she's not that keen on bird things, are you, Carol? Okay, like so. And I am going to try one layer of colour just to see how it looks, but having stamped it on crumb cake card rather than white, it really does make a difference. But just so you can see one layer of colour, I'm going to take, this is soft suede, and just going to try this. So this is one shade lighter than espresso. But for those of you who haven't seen this, let me just lift that up to you so you can see the intricate shading built into that stamp. If you can see that. So let's have a look. And what you do want to do is to be able to look straight down onto your stamped image. So if needs be, stand up so that you're looking down. It's slightly more difficult for me because I've got the camera between me and what I'm stamping, but you can see the difference between that one and that detail. So I think I am going to, I don't know how many of these I'm going to use. Just going to bring this down. So there we go. You can see that. And then when you add the wing, it's even more detailed again. But in my case, some of these are going to be well hidden, so I'm not worrying unduly. Let's just stamp a couple of these, or one of these inners, and then I'm going to cut them out. So we have dies to cut them out. Let's move this out of your way. Don't need a scrappy piece in front of you. So just taking my time to get that lined up. So if I just bring that up there, so you can see the difference between the two. So the one on the left is a single stamp. The one on the right has got the colouring in. So what I'm thinking when I do my robin is this is going to have some orange here. That's my plan. Okay. Oh good, Lynn. Yes, I think we all like robins, don't we? Okay, so I'm just going to find my dies, which are here. So the dies are called Birds and More, so you can get the dies and obviously just use them for outline birds, of course, but those lovely borders. And this is fantastic as well, this piece here. That's what I'm going to be using to make a Christmas card tomorrow. Okay, so just going to die cut some of these. Bear with me while I do that just off camera. Let's get the right layers. I'm only doing it off camera because my machine doesn't really fit on there very well. So bear with me 1 second or two. You can chat amongst yourselves. I'm going to cut these out 2 at a time. If I'm not too wonky. There we go. I wonder if Scylla's got this set. Because Scylla, I know, is a very keen bird watcher. She's probably cringing at my colouring choice. So the shape of this is very, well, both of them really go for a lot of English garden birds. I mean, this could be a magpie. It wouldn't normally be a bit bigger, but it could be a magpie. But you've got wrens, you've got robins, sparrows, all with this pretty standard shape for us here in the UK. I don't know if it's the same for our overseas friends or not. There we go. So I'm just going to cut out 4 and then put the whole thing together. One. And that one moved a little bit. Right, let's see what we have, what we can make of this. So those are my layers like that. So the bird can either be sat on the front like that. Now these birds do have legs and feet. Okay, so I've got a bird that I could put in there, sat on the nest. Don't worry about this bit, I'm going to cut him off, poor chap. And just thinking, literally that one could be tucked in like that, or one going the other way. Let's try that. Something like that. What do you think? See if there's any other comments. Change glasses. Okay, now I've deliberately, when I cut these holes out, I've deliberately kept it slightly high so that I could put a message on the bottom, and this will be happy birthday, exactly like I did with this one here. And this happy birthday is from Artistically Inked. I love that. It's just a nice font, really nice font. So let's see. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is sorry, bird, being cut off. I had it. Look at something like that. I'm not worried about that because I can chop that off. And I could put some feet on as well. Actually, I think what I might do is have this one sat right on the top. So I'm going to cut out some feet as well, or stamp some feet onto here. And maybe that works, doesn't it? Like that. Okay, so I'm going to, first of all, I'm not going to worry about the backing. I'm going to pop this layer up, I've decided, on dimensionals, and then I can tuck the birds in a bit easier. And I just need to find the dimensionals. Here we go. So as I say, if you're watching me for the first time and you think, oh my goodness, that is way too complicated, then this is at least the 4th video in this series, so don't panic. This is a stepped up version with me doing a bit of playing around, so don't panic. Okay, just going to use a little thin piece along here down that edge. I just want to support it really. So and the same here, and I just want a little piece on that narrow edge. Like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is position this on that backing. Take all of these off. Go. So I just put those in the light, and if they're shiny I know that they're all taken out. So there we go. See how straight that is. Oh, a little bit to one side, but it'll work. Okay, now I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stick this down because I've got some loose bits of dimensions here. I don't want it to stick to my work surface, so I'm just going to stick this onto our backing. There's nothing worse than doing a fantastic bit of card work and then picking it up to find it's actually attached to your work surface. Not a good look. Okay, let's have a look. Right, have I lost anybody? Are we still there? The bottom bird on the top says Kerry. Oh, I see, yes, okay. this one here like that. So this one is going to get tucked in like so, just peeking out. I might even trim a little bit more off. That was a bit dangerous, wasn't it? Okay, so this one I'm going to apply it with some glue, so it's going to be in that background. So, and then this one I'm going to have actually on dimensionals, but effectively inside I'm going to have to cut his or her tail off, because I want that to be sort of inside but lifted up, if that makes any sense. Just wondering if I've got that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp a bit of that nest across the front, because I want her to look like she sat in the nest. Now what I could have done was actually stamped and die cut the nest out. That would have been quite good. Best laid plans and all that. So what I'm going to do, because I want her to be in like so. Just stamp that little bit of nest there. Can you see? So it looks like she's sat in the nest. Okay, let's take a little bit more of that off. There we go. So she's going to go on dimensionals, but still sort of inside of that piece. So I'm going to put dimensionals only on that front section. A little bit of glue on the back. Like so. And then this one is going to be on the front, like so. On dimensionals again. I just want a narrow piece for her tail. There we go. There we go. There we are. What do we think? We got there in the end. Oh, hi, Kerry. Just checking. I can't tell when people have left. It doesn't actually tell me, you know, which is quite good really, because you can surreptitiously disappear then without me knowing, and I'm never offended either. You know, it's one of those things. We all have lots of things to do. I know people just come in and catch up a little bit and then watch on catch up, or sometimes it's, you know, just not your type of thing. So I happen to have this tiny little offcut here, but I might do it in a different colour. So I'm thinking if this is for my happy birthday. Let's have a look. Whether I do it the same or different. You could also white heat emboss this onto a piece of early espresso. Would be quite nice. Oops. So it's a slightly different colour. Let's just stamp it on Sahara Sand as well. I haven't got my cleaning chamois. They're all in the washing machine. There we go. Let's see which colour looks better. So I've got that one there, or that one. Let me trim it down. We can see, I think, the Sahara Sand, but I could edge it or put a piece of early espresso behind it, just to make it stand out a little bit. Just have a look at this. Quite a narrow little piece. Right, let's put that away before I get anything anywhere I shouldn't. So I've got this one there. Perhaps that does look better, because this one is a little bit camouflaged. So I'm going to go with that one, and I'm just going to cut this at an angle. Like so. There we go. Now what I could have done was 3 different coloured birds, of course. There was always that option, but served its purpose. There we go. So I'm going to put this one on flat. I could put it on some dimensionals, but I quite like that just being flat on there like so. And that whole thing is going to go onto our panel like that. So I hope you can see those. So just adding some wet glue. So no height to the glue, just a light amount, but all over. And then layering that onto there. There we have it. And I think I'm just going to stamp a bird on the inside. And let's have this one. It's my favourite shape of the two. I don't really know why, but I think because his tail's up is all sort of bright and chirpy. Like so. Let's put one layer behind. Oops, daisy. And there is our card all done. So thank you for joining me. A bit longer than normal. Normally Monday morning is a nice simple ready to go card, but I wanted just to continue using this stamp set. So I do like to get the most out of my stamps if I can, and show you how to as well. Okay, so there we go. Let me show you that up close. So that's the inside little bird, like so. And then that is my finished card. Very monotone, that, isn't it? It's all brown. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. I'm off to inspect my UPS box, and if it is what I think it is, I'm going to get cracking finally to get the last of my class in a box sent out to my very, very patient customers. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed what I've shown you. Do take care. I shall be back tomorrow, Thursday at 7 PM UK time, and I look forward to crafting with you again. I hope it is too, Lynn. I'm pretty sure it is. So thanks everybody for joining me. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening.